I will remotely call the meeting to order of the Southborough Zoning Board of Appeals for Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. This meeting is remote via Zoom pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, Act relative to extending COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency signed into law on June 16th, 2021. This meeting will be conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted. You may watch or participate in the meeting remotely with a meeting link at www.southboroughma.gov. Okay. So on the agenda tonight, we have one public hearing. It is a continuation of 250 Turnpike Road, 0 Parkerville Road, FD 250 Turnpike LLC comprehensive permit. This is the 40B where the applicant is seeking a comprehensive permit under MGL Chapter 40B. So my understanding of what we have to discuss this evening is we have a letter from actually the applicant. I think it's Goddard in response to Lucas Environmental. Lucas Environmental made several comments in there. There was a number of them where Goddard and the applicant said they had nothing further to add, which I'm mostly interpreting as they're in agreement with the statement from Lucas. And then we also have the letter from the Conservation Commission. And as we were chatting before the meeting started, that one's really just about proving that their plans to allow, you know, the animals that were discovered there, to give them a way to get across the property safely. If I can really paraphrase. So who we have at the moment, Doug, Paul, myself, Jamie. Okay, we're still at 4. So, and you believe Doris may call in?
I thought so. That was
okay.
my thing. Yeah.
Okay. Mike Robbins did say he was going to try to dial in. So hopefully we hear from him at some point. But I think we're okay, I believe, to go ahead and start. Doris hasn't missed any, correct, Laura?
She has.
She has.
Jamie, Doris, and Mike have all missed one. So if Doris misses tonight, then she just won't be able to vote on the decision. Okay.
All right. That's not great.
My attendance
I don't know. Go ahead, Paul.
My attendance is perfect.
I think on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You're good on this one, Paul.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So we do, if we get to get started here, we do have Joe Orzel from Lucas Environmental. Joe, I don't know that I'm assuming, of course, that you have that letter from Goddard that was in response to the comments that came from Lucas. I don't know if that's something you want to summarize or look at on a point-by-point basis. There's Mike. All right, great. Thank you, Mike.
Sure, I could do that. I think as you had noted that a number of the responses from Goddard were that they had no additional comment. I think essentially agreeing with our comment. I think quite a few of the comments, their responses also provided just some clarification. And I don't have issue with most of those. Maybe I should first say I have had a chance to look through the letter. I have not had a chance to respond formally.
Okay.
I will do, but just haven't had a chance to do it before tonight's meeting. And there's a couple, I don't know how detailed you want me to be, but there's a couple that, we can go have some back and forth as far as some difference of opinions, but I don't think, some of those differences are necessarily, critical to the overall,
Okay.
proposal, what's being proposed. I think the biggest takeaway, is that, essentially they're agreeing that there is migration, happening, across the site, and that they are, looking at design changes. The biggest of those being looking at a wildlife, tunnel.
Right.
And then there were some other ones they were looking for, possibly, some realignment, I believe, to minimize disturbance. With regards to the wildlife tunnel, I know at the last meeting, the representative from Goddard, I can't remember which person it was, had noted that they were looking at maybe a 4x4 tunnel, 4 foot by 4 foot tunnel, which is generally what Natural Heritage likes to see. The conceptual plan that they submitted has a 2 by 2 foot tunnel, which it looks like that may be due to a constraint with the sewer line elevation, proposed sewer line elevation. I'm not sure of that. I would want some clarification on that. I know the best recommended practices, the document that both Goddard and we have referred to, recommends 2 foot by 3 foot tunnels. And like I said, Natural Heritage usually likes to see 4 foot by 4 foot. So I guess my comment would be, can they get a 4 foot by 4 foot in there? If not, can they get, if it's a height constraint thing and they can't get anything higher than 2 feet, could they get a somewhat wider tunnel?
Okay.
And then 2 feet. And I think the only other note I had is that we had commented that there is work proposed within 20 feet of the wetlands. And there was a response from Goddard that they're not proposing work within 20 feet of the vernal pool, and we realize that. But again, the Conservation Commission has that 20-foot no disturb that they like to adhere to the extent that they practical.
And I'm sorry, to the 20 foot no disturb within.
20-foot no disturb from the edge of the wetland.
From the edge of the wetland.
Yeah, so there is some work for some of the units proposed within that 20-foot zone. So I think those are my takeaways at this point. If you'd like more specifics and individual comments, I could get into those. I think the wildlife tunnel is a good development, that they're looking at that.
And so I think you maybe you could just repeat. I think you were saying there are basically best known practices or standards, if you will, when it comes to wildlife tunnel in situations like this.
Yes. The document that their report references, and that this is a document that we would have looked at also in this case, does recommend 2 foot by 3 foot tunnels. It also recommends them spaced about every 20 feet if you have a wider crossing area. In this case, given the layout, I think a single tunnel at generally where they have it proposed would probably be sufficient. The best development practices also recommend some kind of fencing or wing walls type structure to help direct the critters into the tunnel.
Right.
I know they show a small wing wall on the one side of the proposed tunnel. That might probably recommend that be a little bit more extensive to include a larger length of area to help direct any species that might be um,
All right,
coming up that, from that direction.
okay. Laura, do we have somebody representing the applicant on?
We do. Let me bring them all over. So we have Brian, George, Lou, bringing everyone
Okay.
over,
Okay.
Brian, and James. So
And James, of course.
we'll bring everyone over. So
House party. Okay,
everyone's in their cars tonight.
yeah, what's going on? Where did Brian? Oh, there's Brian. Brian's in his car too. All right. Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. Brian, Joe was just kind of summarizing, I think, where he feels like we are in response to the last letter that we had a chance to review. And it sounds largely like you're in agreement, but and that, you know, you basically have agreed that there is a migration going on. There's some design changes planned. And he did touch on the wildlife tunnel a bit. So knowing that Joe has not submitted anything formally, I'm just curious what the response is from your side.
Good evening, everybody. Brian Charvel representing the applicant. Can you hear me all right, Mr. Chair?
Yes, I
Great.
can. Thank you.
I'm joined by the usual cast of characters. So my co-counsel Lou Levine and also George Bonan. And then we have with us tonight our civil engineer, James Tatro, as well as our wetland scientist, Ryan Rosine from Goddard. So we wanted to make sure these gentlemen were available to keep the momentum going from the meeting on June 18th. That's why they're here.
Yeah,
And
great.
so I really appreciate Joe's summary of his review and where we are. I think it's safe to say we agree that it just boils down to those items he noted. And if it's all right, I would love to, I guess, touch on myself the work proposed in the buffer areas.
Okay.
We had been able to do, knowing that that would be a concern of the commission. We have done an analysis of what the area of disturbance would be within buffer areas. And I think it's around 4,000 square feet. And so we do have a plan that would propose a replication area in order to address that. And we'd be happy to share that with this board.
Okay.
And we have it ready then for the commission as part of a later NOI.
So
go
the
ahead.
plan is to replicate the affected wetland. Do I understand that correctly?
Yes, in those limited areas in the buffers where there would be disturbance.
Right.
Yeah.
Through the chair, are you referring to the 20-foot no disturb zone? So replicating for that area of disturbance?
I believe so. Mr. Tatro will confirm because he was able to come up with a concept plan for the area, but I believe that's the metric we used.
That is correct. Mr. Charvel is correct. There were about just over 4,000 square feet of alteration in primarily 3 locations of the 20-foot no disturb zone. And we looked at creating a similar wetland, not just buffer, but wetland on the north side of the C wetland, which would not entail any additional encroachment of proximity to any work.
Okay.
And then if it's all right, while we have Mr. Tatro, I'd love to have him respond in terms of feasibility of anything larger than a 2x2 crossing, if that's all right. I know as Joe touched on, a kind of important factor about the layout here is the size of the retaining wall that would be needed on the west side of the driveway. So if you're looking at Plan North to the left, which is where the western end of the wildlife crossing would begin. So it begins at the base of the wall, then would pass under the roadway and come out to the east.
Okay. All right.
James, can you speak to that about sizing? Thank you.
Sure. Just quickly, I think Joe was immediately correct that our one limitation is the sanitary sewer line there on the west side of the drive. Although looking at the plan again now, it's interesting always seeing with a fresh set of eyes after some days. I think I have a typo there in regard to the actual invert elevation of the proposed passage. at that location. I think we may be able to get to 3 feet of height, and we could make it probably a little wider. Maybe we could get to 3 feet on width also.
Okay. Is that something that requires further examination on your part, James?
Yeah, and I think Joe is also correct. While on the west side, we've got a retaining wall that would effectively be leading critters towards that culvert opening. On the east side, while we do have a wing wall, it could be made more extensive, as Joe suggests, to do a better job of directing critters to that culvert.
Okay. I mean, it's all sort of just discussed, but Joe, does that sound reasonable to you?
Those things do sound reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And I might be beating it with a blunt instrument, but the concerns of the Conservation Commission, to me, Joe, would you agree that if you've got where you're basically quoting some best known practices, maybe that's the wrong term, but you seem to have some references that say this is the sort of thing that you're looking for in order to direct the animals in the wildlife tunnel, the size and direction and everything. Does that sound like that would address maybe what the conservation is asking?
Through the chair, I think the commission members just we're not familiar with wildlife tunnels, haven't come across them before, and we're just a little skeptical on whether they would work or not. I didn't know that they have been shown to work. They are as you mentioned, about the best recommended practice in the document that we're referencing for the vermiculite mitigation study. So yes, they haven't shown to work. I can't say that they always work, but they have been shown to work.
They've been shown to work. Yeah. Okay. I think that's really what they're looking for. And, you know, I'm assuming, you know, I'm looking to you for that guidance to say, how do we, you know, is this a reference we can use?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Respected reference. So it's
okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to give the board the opportunity if any of them have any questions thus far. Unless, Brian, was there anything more to add first?
No, these are the leading topics, so we're happy to keep the discussion going there. Thank you.
Okay. Jamie, did you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I would definitely defer to the experts on this. So if they agree this is a viable solution, then I'm fine with it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I don't think I'm going out and figuring out what the best practices are for wildlife tunnels, but as long as we know we're going to, you know, a resource who is well positioned to make that judgment, I agree. I'm trusting Joe in this case. Paul, did you have any questions or comments?
I have no questions. As far as comments go, I've been through this before, and what's being proposed is understandable and actually makes sense. So yes, I'm okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Mike, do you have anything? I know you're not in a great situation there, but maybe you have.
It's less than a great, and I apologize to everyone. But no, I concur with Jamie. There's nothing on this that really jumps off. You know, I'm going to listen to not only what conservation has put forward, but also the feedback.
Okay. Mike's kind of. You all set, Mike? Lost you for a minute.
I am. I have no other questions.
Okay, thank you. Doug?
Dave, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, we could. You're muted.
Yep. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so no comments or no questions. I do appreciate the incorporation of the wildlife crossing, and I appreciate them trying to get it bigger than 2 by 2, but otherwise, no other questions or comments.
Okay. Thank you. Doris?
No, I really don't have additional questions and defer to their judgment. I do recall us talking about it at the last meeting.
Okay. We're all wondering if that's a real background or you photoshopped it, Doris.
Not real.
Okay, so I'm going to assume for a minute that Doris was done. She did kind of. You all set, Doris?
Yeah, I'm all set. Did you hear what I said?
The last I think we heard was you didn't really have any additional questions or comments on this.
No, I don't. My only comment was that we discussed it last meeting on this underpass, and to make it sizable, the question came up, and it looks like they're starting to address it. Other than that, I'm fine. No, perfectly fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, and Brian, back to you. I think what I'm taking from this is, as you said, to keep momentum going. It feels like this is about as much as we have right now, right? The
Yes.
letter from Goddard with the responses from Lucas. And we really talked about that. I think Joe did a good job summarizing there. We did talk about the conservation letters there. And it just, my general takeaway is you are looking to really address the best that you can all of the current concerns that have been raised. And the wildlife tunnel is something that sounds pretty good, but there's certainly more details, right? More work to be done to really be able to move forward from here. Is that correct?
Well, our understanding leaving last time was that Joe wanted especially to see a concept plan, so we provided that.
Yep.
And after this, I'll definitely ask Mr. Tatro to see what he can do in terms of the sizing like we've talked about, and provide then a new concept plan for you all to review.
Okay.
But I think if there's agreement about the sizing, I'm not sure about the level. I don't think really much is necessarily more needed in detail before we can move ahead toward at least a closure of the hearing, because we know from other 40Bs that we've worked on with you guys that one of the steps required by the decision will be a full final site plan, after there's order of conditions, for example, that would address in any remaining details needed, and that Lucas would have a chance to review that too.
Right. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Laura, do we have anybody that's looking to get on to ask questions or offer an opinion?
I did have someone who raised a hand, but they put it back down.
Okay.
So.
All right. So maybe we addressed whatever their question was.
Thinking ahead to August, Mr. Chair, we'll have Mr. Tatro adjust the concept plan for the wildlife crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we'll be looking out for Lucas's updated response memo, responding to what Goddard had sent, and I think dated July 2nd.
Okay.
And we'll address any remaining, vernal pool or wetlands concerns there. And then aside from that, we're having good conversations with the Board of Health about septic. And then I think the only other thing from our perspective was there were some comments from HSH, the board's civil engineering reviewer, that we were going to incorporate into updated site plan sheets. And so we'd be happy to get that in so that HSH has essentially a final site plan, at least for this stage of the game, to review and give the board feedback on. But otherwise, we're headed toward, I think, providing the information we can.
Okay. So you mentioned August, Laura. What's our date in August? The 20th?
Yeah. And our current deadline to close the public hearing is August 31st.
Okay. So Brian, what do you have a suggestion for next meeting and extending?
Well, I'd like to think that we'll have Lucas's response very shortly, and they can incorporate in that looking at an updated concept plan for Mr. Tatro. So I think that would be closing out for the board's perspective review of wetlands and the wildlife crossing.
Okay,
And we'll have an updated site plan sheets for HSH to take a final look at in advance of the meeting with plenty of time.
Okay.
We're aiming on that for the next not more than 2 weeks to get that into you all. So HSH has time in advance of the August meeting to give substantive feedback.
so you're thinking continuing to August 20th works for you?
If possible, yes, please. And
Yeah.
and I think we could be in a position that all the data is in advance of that we're able to tie off at least the public hearing aspect of this, then move on to the
Right.
decision.
Right. Laura, what do we have on the 20th right now? Anything?
Yeah, we have 2 special permits. I think they're both pretty straightforward. So if it's right with you, we could schedule the hearings like 10 minutes apart instead of the 15, so that we're not.
Yeah, make it 7:10, and then put these guys on at 7:20.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. And as far as the deadline for closing the public meeting, it sounds to me like you don't want to move that at this point.
If we find that we're there on August 20th and that's too jammed, I know we'll be open to going longer, but I don't think sitting here now that we need to yet,
Okay.
because we're so close on these last couple of items.
Okay. Stephen, did you have any opinion to offer here?
Just that it does seem like everything's in order to close next time. My concern is more logistical, is if we find ourselves at an August 20 meeting with an August 31 deadline, it would put us in a position where if it needs to be extended, I'm scribbling down the extension on a notebook page before we leave the meeting. It seems like we're all working together well here. Might we just agree to a continuance to, sometime in September, just extend that deadline out ever so briefly in case for whatever reason it all doesn't come together on the 20th, but you need a couple additional weeks. Then we're not scribbling it on a piece of notebook paper. Just gives us a little bit of breathing room. That's my only thought.
Just to have time to actually submit it.
Brian, why don't we just move this along? Just agree to, I don't know if that's a weekday, September 15th. Is that a weekday?
That's a Monday, yeah.
Yeah. Brian, you okay with that?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. All right, so
Thanks,
we
Lou.
will
I
get
think
you.
that's good.
Yeah, we'll get Lara a letter in the next day or two extending the deadline for the public hearing process to September 15th. And I thought scribbling on them with pieces of paper were pretty good, but whatever.
Appreciate that, Lou.
I'll bring the yellow pen if you want me.
I never go anywhere without one. I was told once in my life that a lawyer's naked without it.
Yeah, it's probably better off without it, but that's a different discussion. Okay.
Ready, okay.
So I think we're all.
Is that a
We're all-
Monday?
That's a Monday.
Wednesday?
The 15th is a Monday.
Yeah, but that's not the hearing date, Doris. That's just the date to close the public hearing by.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. I know I'm not here at the end of August. So that wouldn't have worked anyways. Okay, so that so it would close, but we don't have to have a meeting for it that day.
Right, and I
Right.
mean, we still have the possibility. I'm sure they don't want it, but if we have the August 20th meeting and we go, the 15th is still going to be tough. Now we at least have the bandwidth, and I think that was Stephen's point, to push it
Yeah,
out.
no, I
we needed-
agree with the bandwidth. You always need bandwidth.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I can make the 15th if there was a meeting on that date. My only suggestion is, just by curiosity, move it to the past or through the what's our next meeting date? Our normal meeting date, the 16th or the 18th, something like that?
So our next one from here is August 20th, and then after that, excuse me, is September 17th. So would that also work if instead of the 15th, we
Yeah,
go to the 17th, and then that covers that hearing in case we need to? I don't
Brian,
know.
can we
Yeah,
Brian, can
that
we
would
just do it the 17th?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
if we need
We'll
to do
make-
meeting, that's all, because I know we
Well-
all have it in our calendars. I could do either day, but then
Okay,
there's been
we'll do this-
instances, but yeah, that's exactly that. I appreciate it. We'll
Okay,
just get it on a normal day if we
Guys.
needed to.
we'll go with the 17th then.
and we'll bring a yellow pad to the 17th.
Bring the yellow pads too. Okay, all right. So, is there anything else, or we just need to take votes to continue the hearing and extend the, extend the deadline to, September 17th, 2025? I think that's all we have, correct?
That was it for the applicant. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Okay. So then we need a motion to extend the deadline to close the public hearing to September 17th of 2025.
I make a motion to extend the public hearing deadline to September 17th, 2025.
Did I receive a second?
Second. Paul.
Okay. Okay, motion to extend the public deadline to September 17th, 2025 has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Jamie?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Doris?
Aye.
And Williams, aye. Okay, thank you. And with that, then we just need to have a motion to continue the public hearing to August 20th, 2025 at 7:20 PM.
I make a motion to continue the public hearing to August 20th, 2025 at 7:20 PM.
Second.
All right, motion to continue has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Jamie?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Doris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Sorry. It's more difficult when they're not in the room. And Williams, aye. Okay. So that wraps up our discussion for 250 Turnpike for this evening. Thanks very much. We'll see you again on August 20th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Night, everyone.
Enjoy the summer.
Thank you. Okay. Agenda. So other business property before the board, we have approval of meeting minutes, May 21, 2025 and June 18th, 2025. And Laura is going to confirm that those are in fact the dates, right? Yes. Okay. I'll
Got it right
just
this
say, yeah, I'll just say first that I did look at them fairly closely. They look, again, very accurate to me. I didn't see any typos, anything misstated. Did anybody else have an issue with either of the minutes as submitted by Laura?
No issue.
I have no issue with those minutes.
Okay. Why don't we typically do these one at a time. So we need a motion on the May 21st, 2025 minutes as written.
I'm not sure if I was at that one.
I don't think,
Okay,
Was I there, Laura?
no.
oh,
Okay.
there you go. All right.
Make a motion
Mike.
to approve the minutes as drafted for the May 20, was it the 22nd meeting?
21.
21. Make a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay. So motion to approve the May 21, 2025 minutes as written has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Mike?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Doris? Doug, while we're waiting?
Aye.
Doris, can you hear us? We need an aye. And Jamie, you'll abstain.
Correct.
There
Aye.
we go.
Did you?
There we go. And
Here
Williams
we
is
go,
aye.
we got it.
We got it. Okay,
Okay, that was tricky.
thank you. Okay. Who could blame me? It's a ZBA meeting. All right, so same thing, but for June 18, 2025, assuming we don't have any problems with it. Those minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from June 18th, 2025.
I get that.
Okay, we have we have an approval of the minutes for June 18th with a second. All in favor, respond with aye. Opposed, nay. Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Doris,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
and Williams, aye. Okay, that takes care of that bit of business. Thank you. We did put something in here for ADU bylaw discussion. I don't know what Mike, you or Doris have to bring to the table this evening, if anything. Anything new there?
Here, I'm available. I don't know if there's any specific points that we want to touch on. I know planning wants to kind of reevaluate where things stand with respect to maybe amending those bylaws. I have not seen any draft as of yet
Okay,
for that. You know, so you know, I just don't have a comment at this time.
Okay.
But I'm very interested in you know, reigniting that possibility.
yeah, and I'd like to attend those as well, as long as it works out. Unfortunately, Mondays, I'm in a loop where there's a meeting like every Monday night, which is a pain. But I would like to get involved in that if possible. I guess I'm not aware of them doing anything either. Doris, you don't have anything new to report here, do you?
No, I don't have anything to report other than what Mike's saying. I know they want to bring it back up on the warrant just to clean up legal language for sure, but I haven't seen any drafts, and I do want to continue to participate. And Mike, and what I'd shared at the last meeting was I wanted to put my one to do possibly on the warrant, which is to strike just one line of what is now our accessory, not accessory dwelling unit, but our apartment portion where
Yeah.
it says 75% of the not over 10% of the 1979 law. We can't have any more units in town, to strike it completely. Because if you think about that, I don't even know if ADU goes into that calculation. And you think about it again, it was only recently tabulated. It's well under the benchmark from 1979. Nobody's really attending to it. I think it's dated. So I thought it was in full conflict with anything we do change the language with ADUs to bring it up to code. I wanted to take the line out. I couldn't see the purpose of the line item at all.
Okay.
Yeah, unless someone felt differently about it, to keep that in there, but it's inconsistent. If you changed all the ADUs to now be part of the existing code for over 900 square feet, how does
Yeah.
that fit in? Yeah, it conflicts.
Yeah, I agree. We should try to be as consistent as possible. I mean,
Yeah,
my thing, Mike, is I think I would push a little bit for something that is more acceptable in town meeting. And like one of the things was, to review everything, to have site review of everything. Like if you want to get this to work, you better not go down that path again, in my opinion. So anyway,
David, I agree to move the authority to planning at the last minute. I'm not saying it happened at the last minute, but I was very unaware of it until I saw the warrant.
yeah,
2 days,
yeah,
3 days. So,
Same.
so
Same.
yeah, so we need to get in front of that. And when I can, and if I can, I want to be at those meetings. I just don't, they're going to start
Same.
to speed up because we have town meeting in November, right?
yeah.
I think we have town meeting in
They're
November.
already
No.
running short, I think.
David, if I may, I actually have a little update for you guys on that.
Oh, okay.
I was catching up on planning board meetings this week, and they are actually working on revising the language for the bylaw for ADUs. And they definitely want to loop you guys in. So I think the intent was for them to work on some draft language and then send that draft to the ZBA. So I'm hopeful that maybe we'll get something. I'll reach out to Karina next week to see where they are with that, but I'm hopeful that we can get something ahead of our next meeting and then just add it to the agenda. Because they did also change the date of town meeting for the fall to October 27th. So we're kind of on a little bit of a time crunch, but I know that planning wants to loop you guys into that conversation.
Okay, all right. I mean, that works for me if they want to actually draft something and submit it to us so we can provide feedback. What's the deadline for that to get into the warrant?
That's a good question. I don't know if they've submitted a placeholder yet for that.
Okay,
They also have to have public hearings for it too.
true,
So,
right. Yeah,
um,
they are up against it already.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Laura, there was some disagreement as to what date town meeting was still. Do we have a hard date?
I believe select board voted last night to change it to October 27th.
And then hold that back from November?
Yeah, it was originally November 3rd, because I guess the meeting room that you guys usually use for town meeting was booked for the 3rd. So they pulled it back to October 27th.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I think that's probably all the discussion on the ADUs. Unless somebody had something to add. But otherwise, I think all the other items before the board would be administrative updates, Laura. That's your thing, next meetings and anything else. Besides the planning board.
So our next meeting, as you guys know, is August 20th. We have 2 special permits. One is a special permit modification for an existing accessory apartment. The other one is a special permit for similar to what we just did for the Pilates studio, but this one is for a golf simulator. So we have that, and then 250 Turnpike, and I'll add the ADU discussion to that as well in hopes that we have a draft from planning board.
Right, okay.
A couple other things I just want to make sure you guys are aware of in terms of some zoning bylaw proposals that I think are going in for fall town meeting. And Doug can probably speak to this one a little bit better than I can, but there is one to remove the max cap on 55 and over housing because our bylaw currently says that we have a random cap of like 7%. And in order to move forward towards some of our housing, towards some of our housing goals, they're going to propose removing that cap. So there's a placeholder in the warrant for that article. And between Doug and I'm sure we'll keep you informed on that one.
Okay.
And then last night at the select board meeting, there was discussion of another zoning article for that old EMC parcel. So the developer purchased, it has a new owner, and that developer has proposed a zoning bylaw change that would impact that parcel. Select board voted to move it, like approve it and move it over to planning for public hearings and discussion. So it's still kind of early stages for that, but I just want to let you guys know. And then similar is that planning is also working on some updates to the allowed uses in the industrial park zone in an effort to maybe modernize our zoning bylaw a little bit and make it easier for some commercial businesses to move into those areas. So as I get drafts and as I see progress on that, I'll keep you guys updated. And I'll let you know of like public hearings and stuff like that in case you guys are interested in attending.
Okay.
Other than that, just something that came up that maybe we start thinking about if we want to have a discussion. I have to look into it a little bit more myself. Is maybe a discussion of our filing deadlines as it relates to our meetings. We have technically 65 days from the date of filing to open a public hearing. We try very hard not to do that with our monthly meetings. We're usually way less than that. However, we have had a couple instances where people are filing ahead of a deadline and then they're waiting a significant amount of time before the hearing. But without bending the rules for people, you know, I can't schedule them for an earlier hearing. So just something to think about. I don't know if there's a way to do it with our meeting schedule. But I just want to bring it up to you guys in case you want to brainstorm some ideas, because I do want to keep the process as efficient as I can for people. We do have legal deadlines that we have to meet. So like we have to publish the public hearing notice for 2 weeks prior to the hearing, which means I have to submit it 3 weeks prior to the hearing. So that's a month right there. You know, I like to have a week or so to do an administrative review of the application to make sure it's complete. So it is kind of a long time frame. I'm not sure if there's any time that we can trim off of that, but it's just something I wanted to put out there for consideration. So
Okay,
don't have to discuss it tonight, but just something to think about.
okay. Thanks for the update.
Yep.
I'm realizing though, now that we're into July, technically, don't we need to elect a chair and the scribe or no? What's this?
We do, yeah. So what I can do is I can actually put it on the August agenda. I don't want to have you guys do it tonight because it's not on the agenda.
Okay,
But yes, we do need to do that.
okay.
Are you
Alright.
trying to get out of being chair, David?
I make a motion for David to continue being the chair.
I second that motion. I third that
You guys
motion.
are a little too quick on the trigger there.
All in favor? Great. Okay, come on. Yeah, the ayes have it.
Yeah, Banana Republic at work there, okay. Yeah, it honestly just occurred to me, I'm like, oh my God, it's July, we're supposed, I think the term kind of ends June 30th, right? So.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All
So,
right,
but
put
we'll be okay if we do it in August. It'll be fine.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all. Did anybody else have anything else that they want to bring that is actually, you know, a legitimate sort of proposal?
I think Paul's up. Is it
Paul's
my
up.
turn to shine?
Yep.
Time to shine.
All righty, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion to adjourn has been made with a second. All in favor, respond with aye, opposed nay. Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Paul, Paul?
Paul?
Well, we can't lose him now.
I'm assuming that I heard that as an aye.
God.
I heard that as an
Aye. That's a yes for me.
Okay. Doris?
Aye.
Doug?
There it is.
Aye.
All right, and Williams, aye. Great. Thanks, everybody. Nice job tonight.
aye.
All right.
Sorry.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Josiah.
Bye.
All right, bye.